Okay, so here we are. We are now working on a foundation plan, which we'll work on. And so what we took a look at was a couple things. We took a look at the relationship between the actual floor plan and the elevation and how they relate to each other. And now we're working on the foundation plan. Okay, so now getting into this right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in a dimension. I'm going to put a dimension right over here at the very back. So I'm going to put a dimension from here. I'm going blue wall to blue wall right over here, like that. We'll pull it up, and that's 42 feet. So that's what that is. So it's 42 feet by 34 feet and so forth. So I'm going to start drawing that. So over to here, I will start by going here. And for this one, I think I can use the polygon. So I'll go ahead and go here, and I'll just go ahead and do this. I'll start up here and go over 42 feet like we talked about. So type in 42 with the foot symbol like that. Then go down the next dimension right down here, and that's going to be down 34 feet, boom. And then over to the left, 14 feet, and then up, that's going to be 6 feet. And over to the left, 28 feet. Then I'll close it. Right click and close that. So I got that right there. So is it accurate? Let's always check it just to be on the safe side. Go ahead and touch it here to here. That should be 42, and it is. Then over here, this should be 34, and it is. And the same for these others. So this over here is going to be, this should be 14, here to here. It is. Over here. And it is. Whoop. I missed that. So pull it down. By the way, these dimensions, if you click on these, you can actually, they actually want to align themselves. Just got to kind of click by the grip and align them. They will find each other. That's how they're manufactured. And if you, I'm going to show a little trick here. If you right click or press enter at your first prompt, you then have the option of going select object to dimension. I can just click on it like this. And just drag the dimension over like that. So that's something kind of cool there too. Okay, so we got that. That's dimensioned right. That looks good. Okay, now that we've done that, next thing I'm going to do right here is I then want to offset my walls. Now, this particular point, if I try to offset that, that'd be kind of difficult because it's all the same size. And basically, if I were to offset it, my walls are not the same size. So I'm going to have to explode that. We talked about this before. So first, I'm going to save this. I'll save it as... And I will go ahead and just put this on my desktop. And I'm going to call this one foundation plan. There we go. So I've got that right here. Now, this is going to be a problem. If I try to offset this, like I mentioned right here, my different walls have different thicknesses. This is a 10-inch wall right there. And then over here, this is 18 inches. So that means I'm going to have to fix that. So to do this, over into this area, I'm going to explode this first of all. Exploding turns into just basic lines. So explode this. And by the way, to explain explode, I think we went over this before. When you have a polyline means that you select the item all at once. Okay. If you've got a line like this. Okay. If it's all together like that, all right, you have this. Then you have a polyline. If I do the same thing like this, they both look the same. Except for this, if I click on the lines, I can select these individual items and I can even actually pull them so that it's no longer connected. But a polyline is all connected. That's the difference. So that means it's all connected together, which is very powerful and very great. It's not necessarily, you don't necessarily want to do everything with it, but there's some really useful things you can do. So that's a polyline versus a line. So what I want to do right here is if I don't want this to be a polyline anymore, I can explode it. The explode command is right here. It used to be a stick of dynamite, but they got away from that. Now it's a cube coming apart. So we'll click on the explode icon, click on the blue polyline, hit our enter key, and then these are now individual elements right there. So now let's go ahead and offset that. And so the offset distance of the walls is given right here. So we'll start with the back wall here. And what I've got right here is I've got an 8-inch wall. So I'm going to go ahead and offset that 8 inches over here. 10 inches here, 10 inches there. So I'll do the top and the sides. So I'll offset that top 8 inches. So offset 8. I'll offset this line. Offset it here, in. Okay, and then over on the other side, I'll go ahead and use offset again. And then the sides are 10. So since I drew from the outside, I'm going to click. So I've already got the outside defined. That means I have to offset them inside like that. And then I would need to offset the other walls 12 inches. So I'll offset them again, 12 inches. And I go ahead and offset like I'm doing right here. Now here, I've actually got to zoom in a little bit so I can see the line. Sometimes you got to do that. And then I'm going to have this kind of a little bit of a monstrosity because all of my lines are a little bit off right there. I shouldn't say they're off, but they're not neat in the corners. They need to be trimmed because it wasn't a pilot. So we can use our fillet command. We talked about the fillet command before. If I go to fillet with no radius, and there's no radius on it right now down here, that means it can just simply be used to clean up the corners like that. Very powerful and very useful. So we can just use this. We could also use trim. That works too. And like that. And so we use fillet, right click, I'll use multiple now. Here to here, boom, boom. All right, there to there. All right. There we go. Okay, so we got that. So now at that point, I'm just going to do a quick measurement, make sure my my walls are the right size. So I'll go from here. This should be 12 inches. And it is, says 1 foot, that's fine. And over here on the side, it says this should be, say, 10 inches. And it does. Then over here, we'll do this one as well. And this one should be 8 inches. And it is. Okay, so we got that. This one over here, I'll make sure that one's there too. Here to here. Okay, so now all those walls are correct. So that's good. So I can go ahead and I'll leave those in place. We'll deal with those a bit further. Now, further than that, I also have to offset these, and I have to put them, I have to actually put in the red wall. Okay, we're talking about the red wall here. Now, let's just take this side over here. So we just got a 10-inch wall right here. Now we have to go from this wall right here. It needs to be offset another 4 inches in this direction, and this one needs to be offset 4 inches. 4 plus 4 equals 8, and that's the difference between these two, 10 inches and 18. So I'm going to offset this. Okay, like that. So one of the things you can do with the offset command is I can offset this. So I'm going to use offset and 4. And this, when I do this, it can be a little bit messy. So I offset that like that, go offset like that. Now, when I do that, it works, except now I have to take these and I have to move them to the correct layer, which is okay. You can do that. It's all good. But there's another way to do it that's a little bit easier. Okay, so if I go to this wall, I want to do the same thing. So I'll go to offset again, which is right here. I go to offset. And one of the items down here is layer. I can tell that I want to offset to a different layer. So I go to layer, and I'll go ahead and say I can say current or source. So what I'll do is I'll say, you know what? I want you to offset these to the footing like that. So I'll make that my current layer, and I'll go to offset. Now watch what happens now. This way it saves me a step. So I'll go here, and I'll offset this over to here. Oh, why didn't I do that? All right, let me do that. Make a liar out of me. Let's go to offset, and I'll go to my layer, and I will say current. All right, there we have it. Now we'll use 4 inches, and now this should do this quite nicely. There it is. Okay, 4 inches to 4 inches. And so that saves you a step. It's not something you have to do. It's just something that saves you a little bit of time. The one down at the bottom, same thing. That's going to be 12 inches, and 12 inches down here, you offset 12 inches. And the difference between 12 and 20 is, again, 8. So it's 4 on each side. So I'll use 4-inch offset again. So I'll use my 4-inch offset, and my offset command, I'll go here, and I'll go ahead and use that. Go here, same thing, there it is. Yes, like we talked about before. And over here, I got to zoom in real tightly because it's hard to grab this. So I'm going to grab that like that. And we'll do the same thing here. And there. Okay, looking good. Now this back wall, it goes from 8 inches to 20 inches. So that's going to be 6 inches on each side, just to show you that. So up here, you got an 8-inch wall, and then you've got 20 inches. That's a 6-inch offset on each side, because 6 plus 6 is 12, which is the difference. That's a delta. So we'll go ahead and go to offset again, and I'm going to make it 6 inches, and we'll use this again. And come on, you, off there, and off there. Now at that point, I have all these corners, so I'm going to use my fillet command again. I'm going to right click and use multiple, and then I just go through here and clean up my corners like this here. And in this kind of situation, it's just kind of what you have to do. And that's what we do. So we're going to go through here and clean this up. There are other programs that kind of automate this a little bit more, but for AutoCAD, this is what you do, and it's really not that hard. So we clean this up. So right now we're looking pretty good right here. Making good progress. And so this is using the fillet command with a raise to 0. Fastest way to clean up the edges. I use this all the time. Okay, there we have it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll save it. And we are looking good. Okay, so now we've got a basic foundation. Now that we have that right there, we've got to, we're going to drill down to the next thing. It looks like we've got something else needs to come in. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. So back over to here, what's next? Okay, so now there's a few other things. I've got, okay, I've got my footings, I've got the doors and so forth. Looks like I got a window right here. It looks like the windows, I just drew the windows in here. So this window, it's a 6-foot window, okay, with just 3 lines in it. Okay, so it looks like I should probably turn this into a block, but I never do. I do every time I do this class, I just don't do that. All right, so it looks like we're here. What's the difference between these two? Well, let's find out. So we'll go ahead and measure that. What is the distance between? So I think it's just 1 inch. So here to here, it's going to be a total of 2. Yeah, so it's a 1 inch offset each side. So that's a window right there. It is 7 feet from the corner, 7 feet from the blue corner, and then that's where the center is. So I'm just going to use my my doors, and I'll go ahead and do that. So I'll start here, and this I'll go ahead and make it I'll make it a line. We'll do that. So I'll go here, start it here, and go over 7 feet. So I'll type in 7 feet, boom, like this. I'll go ahead and touch it here. Now, one thing I'm seeing that's wrong is I'm on the wrong layer, but that's okay. So here, 36, and there, and then go over, and then now like this, and we'll go there. We'll stop it right there. Now at this point, I'm just gonna grab those and put them on the correct layer, because I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. So that's the doors layer. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to offset this little line 1 inch each direction, just to put this in here. So here, boom, and here, boom. Oh. All right, and that's still offsetting out of the other layer, but that's okay. We can fix it. Okay, so I've got that. And so that is in place right there. And then I could actually mirror that over to the other side, because there's another window that's the exact same size. It looks like that's going to have to change a little bit here, doesn't it? Looks like I might have to, let's see here. Yeah, okay. I put that in too soon, but we'll get back to that. Okay, we'll fix it in a second. Okay, so I've got that going on. Okay, so that is how you go ahead and place those. And then that's how we do that. Now, next we're going to get into right now is how to begin to place these different items. Like I've got this one right here. This is a 13-foot 9.5 inch offset to this right here, and that's a stringer. So I'm going to offset this outside line 13 feet 9.5 to give me that. So I'll do that. That's a fairly straightforward thing. So the offset command, first of all, I'm going to change my current layer to my beams, and I'll use my offset, and I'm going to change my I'll leave the layer to current, and I'll say 13 feet 9.5 inches. Boom. And if I got this right, I should be able to click on this one right here and put it over this way. Boom, and there it is. So I got that right there. So I got that 13-foot 9.5 inches goes right there. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm then going to measure it to make sure it is where it should be. So here, let's put in this. And if I did this correctly, I think I did. I go here to here, but you always check just to be sure. And yeah, it's exactly what it is, 13 feet 9.5. Beautiful. That's exactly what you want. So you got that. So I got that. And then the other one that I want to give myself a placement, just to kind of make sure it's there. This one is 12'4". This is a 12'4" offset for the other beam. So I'll offset that 12'4". So I'll do the same thing. So I'll offset, and I'll say 12'4", and I'll offset this outside line here like that. Boom. Okay. And because that's the wrong layer, I'll go ahead and change it to beam. So I got that. Okay, so right there, we're looking pretty good. We've got that. And then what else do we have? Then I've also got one other thing I have to do here, and that is I got another placement here. And this one, this little beam right here, I got this beam right here that I've got highlighted right there. This one, that one is actually 7 feet 5.5 inches from this other one. So I'm going to offset that again. So what I'll do is I will do this and we'll make it beams, and I'll offset this 7 feet 5.5 like that. 75.5 like that. I'll go ahead and grab this and I'll do that. Okay, so now at this point, I've got these pretty good. Then I can trim out some of the stuff that I don't need. Get rid of this, don't need that. And yeah, this, all right. And I can get rid of this. No, that one stays. And then this one, yeah, then I have to put in another line right there. Okay, so I got the basics right there. Okay, so now that I've got the beams in place, I can actually start to draw the different elements. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go with columns. So my columns, my first column actually starts over here. Columns are like this. I'm going to start with this column. Now, the first column I have here is 7'3" from this outside right to here, 7'3". So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a real basic way of doing this. There's a lot of ways to do this. I'm just going to show you a very basic way to do it. So I'm going to do my columns. Okay, so I'm going to start along here and make it 7'3". So again, I'm going to use, I'll use I'll use a line. I'll use a line and I'll go ahead and touch it here. Now I'm touching it, I'm not clicking and I'm pulling it over. And when I do that, it begins the track. And I'll say 7'3", boom. And I start right there and I'm going to go up. And the distance of these columns is 6 by 6. So I'll go up 3 and then over 3 again. Okay, then down 6. And then over 6, and then up 6, and like that. Okay, so we'll trim this out. Now at that point, I could turn that into a polyline. We go in there and then just type in J, and I just turn that into a polyline right there, and that just makes life easy in case you can join them together. In the same way, by the way, I'll go back there, I did that kind of quickly. In the same way, we can explode items, you can also join them. So the join command is easily done. You can actually type the letter J, and it starts with the join command. Join command starts up here. So when I type the letter J, it shows me this right here, and then I can go ahead and just hit my enter key. It says join, it says select source object or multiple objects to join at once. So like this, grab those with my enter key, and now it's all joined together. And that just makes it easier to deal with. Okay, so I've got that. So now let's check some dimensions. Let's make sure that we are still where we should be. So go ahead and do this. Now I'll go ahead and measure this, and it should be the dimension that we had come up with before, which is 7'3", and it absolutely is, okay? And then we'll go ahead and put a dimension on this here, from here down to here to make sure we're right. There to there, and 12'4", that's absolutely correct. So we are looking pretty darn good right here, and then we also did this. This should be 7.5½, right from here to here. And it is, so we are looking good. So far, so good. Now I'm going to copy this one over 6'9" because that's what's got to be. So over here, I've got this. And before I do that, I could put my footing in. Now the footing is 24 inches by 24 inches. So we can actually cheat. I shouldn't say cheat, but there's a lot of different ways to do that. I could just make a footing like this. I'll do this. I'll go ahead and go footing. And I'll just go ahead and make a rectangle. So I click on rectangle and click here and make it 24, 24, boom, and that's exactly right. Now to move this, I'm going to show you a little trick here. If I go to move, I can click on move. So when you start the move command, it says select objects. Okay, so we click on the object we want to move. So click there. Then I'll right click. Now for the base point, what I could do is I can touch it right here and go over here. It gives me a dashed line and touch it here and pull it down. And then it gives me this right here. Another way to do that is if I start the move command and I click on this right here, I can right click. And if I hold down my shift key and right mouse click, I can actually use the geometric center. The geometric center, I'm using an object snap override, but that was shift right mouse click and it pops up this menu. So I go here and then I can say, and see that lights up, that's a geometric center. And I want to put it on this geometric center right there. So how do I get that? Shift right mouse click and go to geometric center again. And that's what I want right there, boom. Perfectly done, and that's exactly in place where we want it to be. So now we're going to copy that over 6'9", so we'll do that. So copy all this schmear and go over here from right there. Do that again. Copy, and we actually could use we could just use a corner of it. That's fine. And we'll go ahead and go here. Say go over 6'9". So 6'9", boom. It does that. And let's measure it, make sure that it's right. It should be. I just like to check as we go along here so that I don't make an error. There we go, looks good. Then I want to copy the next one over 6'9" again. So I'll copy it again, 6'9". So we'll go to copy, and we'll go here, And we'll go over here and copy. Okay, 6'9", so 6 foot. There it is. So I got that. Okay, and that's perfectly right on that place right there, which is great. And then the next one up, what's the distance from the next one? That's going to be, I'm going to figure that one out. So we will do that. Yes, which we will do. Going to do a little bit of math on this to make it work. Actually, we don't even really need to do math. We just need to kind of like find out where things are, which we will do. Okay, so we got that. So we're going to save this. And now I have those in place. So we're looking pretty good. So we got some basic foundations right here. And we're moving along quite nicely. The next dimension I'm going to go ahead and give you this one right here. I think I should have given you this one before, but the difference between these two, I don't see it. But I've got 7'5.5" there, 10'7". Yeah, so I got 5'4.5" to this point. And then I'm going to offset that 10'7". I'll just do it that way. I'll just do it 5'4.5" and then 10'7", just to do what they did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to offset this line. Which line? Offset this line. All right. So I'm going to do that offset, and I'll go ahead and offset this onto the beam. So offset again, 5'4.5", 5'4.5" boom, and go ahead and click here like that. And then I'm going to offset that one 10'7". So click on this one, and I'll say offset again, 10'7", 10'7", boom. I'll go ahead and go here like that. Okay, so that's where that one needs to go right there. There's another one needs to go there. This one I will turn into a stair. It's going to be stairs in a minute, so I'll leave that right there as my marker right there. Okay, so got that. So that put that right there. So the next one needs to go right there. So I'll copy this one. So copy this one like this. Grab this. Boom, boom. Right from there. I'm going to pull it right up to here. Boom. There it is. Okay, so we got that. All right, and then, okay, now the next one is the long one that goes over on the side. Okay, we're actually a little bit over for break time, so we're going to stop right now. I'm going to pause this, guys. I always like to be faithful to make sure I give you guys a little break between the classes. So we're going to stop right now, 6:54. We'll come back at 7 o'clock. So we're going to take 6 minutes. I'm going to stop the video, and we'll come back in 6 minutes. So we'll stop right there. I'll see you guys in 6. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yep. Yes.
And you haven't all left screaming. That's a good thing. Okay, we'll take 6 and we'll come back. So I'll see you guys then. I will stop the video and we will come back and we will move on from there. Very good. If we can do that. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to continue.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. We're going to continue on here. So we had placed the columns over to the left. We just have 2 more, I think, to do. 3 more to do here. So what we're going to do right now is we place this one. Now this one actually.
You're not showing your screen.
Oh, let me share my screen. Let me do that. Here we go. Share my screen. There we go. Boom. Can you guys see it now?
There we
Yes.
go.
Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I had put this off here. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to start to craft these over here. Now over here, you'll notice that I've got the beam. The beam is the cyan dash line, and my columns, you'll notice they're green, and they're right centered on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset those to get those in place. Then we'll kind of move on from there. By the way, this needs to be 5 feet 2.5 inches right here. So I'm going to offset that to give myself that. So I'll offset that just to give myself something else to work with. So over here, I'm going to offset this one 5 feet 2.5 inches. So I get that one. So offset 5 feet 10.5 like this. So go ahead and go here. Offset this like that. Okay, now that should go right over here. Should. I think it will go over there. So now I'm going to copy this schmear, and we'll go from here. All right, and we'll go ahead and take it right from there. Then we'll go ahead and drag it right up to there, like that. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so I have that going on there. And then, okay, all right, so I've got that. All right, good. So that one's in place right now. So now at this point, I could actually continue to build this, okay, because I know what that's supposed to be. So I could do this a couple different ways. What I'll do though is I'll just offset this line. I'll go ahead and use my columns. I'll go ahead and offset this 3 in each direction. So I'll go over here 3 like this, boom, over here 3, that's it. And then we'll go over here 3, boom, like that. And then we will offset again going over 12. This time we will be doing the footing. So we'll offset this. This is just to give myself something to work with. 12, and we'll go from here, we'll go over here like that, and like this. Now this, what that does is that gives me the basic geometry that I need for this, which is exactly what I need. Is that right? It looks like it's kind of on top of itself. Is it or is it not? Just zooming in to make sure it's right. Looks like they are. Okay, so it looks like we're good. Okay, I think we're good to go there. Okay, just you have a couple of you just have dashing things that are dashed. That's okay. Okay, so I've got that. Now this next one here, I've actually got to get this long one here. Okay, so this long one right here. So how do I do this one? So this one right here, this one is 6'6", and then I got this one here at 5. So I'll go ahead and I can do this one. So it's 6'6" from here to there. So I'll go ahead and I'll start to draw that. So to do that, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to start to draw my line. I'll go up 6'6" from there, and I'll start to draw it. So I'll use the column. I'll go line, and I'll go right up from this location here, and go over here. Go over here. I'll touch it there and go up 6'6". I'll delete what I don't want later. Straight up. So I'll go up 6'6", boom, like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to go over. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Then up 6. And then over here, and then down 6, and then go over to there like that. So I've got that. Okay, so that should be perfectly placed. And then what I do is I'd go ahead and offset that through. Okay, then I go ahead and draw the rest of it by copying one of these. So that's what I'm doing. I copy these, copy this over here, and now I have that in place. Go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to go ahead and take it right from there. Place it right over the right there. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so those are in place right there. Then I could go ahead and trim out what I don't need there. So I'll trim this right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And that should be 6'6" if I did it right. So let me measure it, verify that it is. So I'll put a dimension on there, and I'll go right from this point here, over here, and then over to here. That's 6'9". It's supposed to be 6'6". Okay, so I went too far. So I need to move that down 3 inches, which I'll do. So I'll move it down. So I always check it so you don't build it, without being sure. So I'll move it down 3. That didn't happen, or did it? So here. Okay, so that's 6'6". So we're good to go there. Okay, so I've got that. And then the next thing I'd have is my the long column right here. The long column right here starts at 5 feet. So this this footing would start 5 feet from the center of this. So 5 feet up to there. So I'll go ahead and do that. So 5 feet from the center, and that gets me there. So let's do that. Go ahead. This time we'll use the footing. We'll go line, and we'll go 5 feet up from the center of this one. And we'll go here, 5 feet, 5 feet. And okay, that brings it over here. That's good. And then the total distance there is going to be 6 feet. So we'll offset that 6 feet. Boom. I'll go ahead and offset this one off 6 feet. That should be right. Yeah, that's right. So click there. That looks about right. And then, yeah, then we go over, that's going to be 5 feet. Okay, so we go 5 feet. So let's say offset 12 inches. So offset 12. Okay, so offset this line here down 12. Yep, and this one 12. There we go. Okay, so now if I did this right, I think I did, we'll just go ahead and we will continue on with this. Do this. There we have it. And then we get rid of this and this. This and this. All right. Okay. No. So, yeah, no, because you want that. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go ahead and I will get rid of this and this. That's good. All right, and that's what needs to remain. Okay, so that's there. And so what I would do right now is get rid of, trim out that part. Line, I think. Yeah, I did that right. I'm not sure I did, but we'll give it a shot. And that's perfect right there. So I'm just gotta make sure this one's all built up the way it should be. And I think we'll be good to go. So try this, get rid of this. Okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And we'll trim this out too. Okay. All right, now this, I just gotta make sure that's all set the way it should be. And I think we're good to go. Let me just go ahead and complete it. We'll see. So I think if I go from here and then down 12, should be right there. Yeah, we are. Okay, we have that. Okay, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Yeah, okay, so then I need to get rid of these. So I'll go ahead and trim this out. Don't need this. Or that. Yeah, cleaning it up nicely. Don't need this. Don't need this part. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, looks good. Okay, except I don't need this here either, do I? No, I don't. So this. Okay, like that. Okay, so there we have it. That's looking pretty good to me. And then at that point, we have now got these things. So I'm going to dimension it up, and we got the bulk of it right now. That's the bulk of it right there, and that looks pretty darn good. And so now we'll go ahead and measure this. This should be 6 feet from here to here. And it is. And this one should be 5 feet if I did this right, and I think I did, but let's find out. Nope, 4'1", so that's not right. Okay, so that's no good. All right, so that is not correct. So I got to fix that. So let's do this. We'll offset this. Oh, it's got to be offset 6 inches. That's why I just had that wrong. Okay, so this offset this 6. Oh wait, no, that's okay. That's where I should be. Okay, and then we'll just do this, extend. Okay, let's see how we're doing there. Let's measure that. Okay, that's right. So that's 5 feet there. Okay, good. Okay, so then that is good. And just to clean that up a little bit, I'm going to just trim this line here and this line here. Good. Okay, so that's looking great. Okay, so now we've got the basic dimensions. They've got a 5-foot dimension, you got the 6-foot dimension. Yeah, that's actually very good. So now that's the toughest part. The rest of it is not too bad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place my dimensions here as I need to. This is a 5'4" dimension here. So go from here to this line here. That should be 5'4.5". Okay, that's good. Move over. There it is. We'll go ahead and do another one. Go from here. And this one's going to go to 10'7". That's good too. All right, then 5'10.5" should be the next one. If I did this right. And I did. Great. All right, and so that's how we put those together. That's 7 foot 5.5 inches. That's actually belongs in a text string down here. We'll get rid of that. Then we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so that's basically what you'd have right there. So going back to the master right here, that's the kind of thing you want right there. You want to have this cantilever over, you want to have this place, and now we're good to go. So now that we've done all that, we've got then at that point, then it's putting in the walls. I got one back wall to deal with, and a couple other things. I've also got a couple of lines here don't need anymore. So get rid of this line. And yeah, so as you go through this, there's going to be some cleanup. That's just the way it goes. Okay, and then that line does not need to be there. No, it does not. Look at that. And then this would actually get pulled down. Pull this down in place just to get it, right to there. Okay, now go ahead and trim this out. Okay, there it is. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, so we got that right there. So the basic elements are right there. And then I need to put in another dimension right here. So I'll continue on through here, going from this point here to this point. That's also 6'9". That's good. And then the next one would be 7'5.5", going to the next one. So we'll do that. And we should be correct on that one. And we are. So there we are. That's a perfect string right there. So I've got those right there. And then they might just need to move up or down depending upon where you have room. And we can go ahead and do that. Or yeah, so that's what you'd have right there. But you got 7'5.5", and then yeah, so we have those. They actually should be up above, looks like. So go ahead and pull this up like that. And part of this is just making sure that they align the way they should. Got here. Something like that. And then these dimensions could actually be moved over one. And I'll go ahead and grab this and I'll pose it over just a hair like that. All right, that's that. Okay, that's the base dimensions. So I'll save it. Okay, so now at this point, I do have one more thing on the back wall here. We talked before about this, and that is this back wall has this 5-inch dimensions. That's actually the wall's 5 inches right there. That's actually what the windows are in. So you've got the bottom wall, then you've got a foundation wall. So I'm going to offset this back wall 5 inches right here. So I'll offset that 5 inches, and I'll do that like that. Put it on the correct layer, and then we'll move that from there. So we're going to put the walls there. Now here, what I can do is I can take this and I can go ahead and take these and just shove this back onto that line right there. And that just makes life a little easier. Do the same thing here. Take this and shove it back to here. And that's something we can do. Then you trim these out and just trim what you don't want. Okay, and that is how we do the wall, that particular item right there. And then we can mirror it, because this one actually has to be mirrored all the way over to the other side. So we'll go there, and then the midpoints there, go there. Mirror that, boom, and then the offsets right there, the points there. No, so we should be there. Now those should be equal from the sides and the dimensions. I'll go ahead and do this just so you guys have this. Go here. Seven feet. Okay. All right, and then you got this other door right here, which is 15'6" from the corner. So this one right here, you got this right here. And so the dimensions of this one, I don't think I put this in here, so I'll go ahead and show you what those are. So the dimensions, this is probably gonna be 1 inch, maybe 2 inches thick. Okay, so it's 2 inch thick panel by 3'2" in the overlap. Okay, so 3'2" by 2 inches, what they are. Okay, and it's okay, so it's 6 foot opening, and they fit in there. So what I'll do is I'll put the 6 foot opening at 15.6. I'll do that first. So what I'll do first of all is go over to here, and I will create the door by going over from this line over here, 15.6 here, 15.6, boom, like this. And I'll go ahead and drop it here, or 6 feet. Then up. Okay, and then at that point, we'll go ahead and put those in there. And so we said that they were 32 by 2. So 2, 32, make a rectangle. I just drew this wrong. I typed in 32 instead of 3'2". Okay, there we go. That's better. So I'll move this. Just like we did back into here. We'll copy it. Okay, there we have that. Get rid of that. Okay, and so you got the door right there. So it's like, and you can do this a number of different ways. I just did it that way, but you get the idea. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of that dimension. Don't need it right there. And now at that point, we got those in place. We are looking good. The only thing I think that's different here is this wall. Actually, I can just click on this grip and pull it up. And I can just go ahead and pull this one back. This is when we can do this. You could use the trim command too, but that's how we can go ahead and just kind of clean that up a little bit here. So again, this line, click on the grip, pull it up like that, and click on this line and pull it back. You could use the trim command also. It's just a little quicker way to go out and do that. Okay, now at this point, 15'6" should be the correct dimension. And we'll go ahead and go here and we'll put that in. So 15'6", if I did this correctly, pretty darn sure I did. So go ahead and go to the, where's 15'6"? Okay, it's the midpoint. Oh, how do I do that? Okay. Mid between 2 points. Yes, of course. (11'6". Okay, why is that 11'6"? It's not good. Huh. 6. All right, and mine's not right. So I need to move over 4. Okay, so we'll stretch it. We'll just move it. All right, move it over 4. All right, 4 feet. I don't know why that is, but it is. Okay. There it is. Okay, and then I just got to clean up the walls right here for whatever reason they need that. Go ahead and fix that. All right. I just got the walls I got to fix. Okay, why is that not there? I don't know. All right, let's see here. All right. Getting into the weeds here. Shoot 5 inches, and it is. Okay, so then what's this? Why is that not 5 inches? I don't know. Should have been. Looks like I missed the snap. Okay, we should be good to go there. We're not. Just try this line again. Supposed to be right. All right, sorry about this, guys. Man. All right. That's what happens when you miss one thing. It just kind of throws these things off. There we go. We can fix it. I should have given you guys some door blocks, but anyway, that's life. Okay, there it is. Okay, so at that point, if I did that correctly, pretty darn sure I got it now. So go here, go to walls, clean it up. Yep. That. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that's all good. So I got the 50. Okay, so we're all good now. So all that's good. And so the essentially everything is correct on this whole thing. The only thing that's left at this point is going to be the stairs. Stairs are actually drawn right here. They are actually the stringers are 2-inch typical on each side, and then they're 12-inch stairs. And how many are there? Well, as many as we need there. But I got the line right there, so I'm going to offset that 12. And there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to make 10 of them. So offset this line, which is right here. I had struck this earlier, so I'm going to offset that. So right here, offset. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I got those lines. Okay, now I need to do just kind of like put that in there. So I got these. Okay, so how do we do these? These are offset. What is the offset distance? Let's see, so 6 inches. Okay, what is the dimension to those? Let's find out. So got that 6'6". Ah, yes, okay, it's the same line. That's the same line right there. Okay, so I use that line and I'll pull it straight down. Yeah, and then I'll offset that too. Okay, so the line goes straight down. Okay, so go here. Pull this line straight down. Okay, that gives me that, and that's going to be my stairs. Offset that 2 inches. That. And then we clean out the inside and the outside. So a lot of this is just being built upon itself right here. And you're going to find that when we get into doing Revit, how easy it is to do a set of stairs right here and make it very, very accurate. There's actually a thing in Revit called a Stair Calculator. Makes life really, really easy, and kind of helps us to do this process right here very, very simply, and kind of like make a virtual customized stringer. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so that is in place. Then I go ahead and this last one over. Okay, so I got that, and then I just need to create the other side. All right, the other side, what is the width of these? Do I have a width? 3 feet. 3 feet from one side to the other. Okay, perfect. So I'll offset that. Line offset. 6, boom. Then offset this 36 like this. Like that. Then offset that too. And that'll give me that. Okay, so once I have that, I can just trim it all out. So go ahead and go here. That. And these little bits right here, when they overlap like that, you just kind of go get them manually. All right, so I got that. And then I have this right up here. Like that there. Beautiful. Okay, so there. And then now once we have that, we've got the stairs in place, everything's in place. Okay, then all I would need to do is put in my notation. Notation is set up in such a way as to be fairly straightforward. There's a couple things, I threw a couple gotchas out here. Okay, over here what I've got is this says 10 inches, this is 18 inches. And when I measure this by default, you're gonna notice it doesn't actually do that. So I'm gonna get rid of these lines right here, delete that. And delete this one. Okay, so we got that, do this one too. All right, cleaned up, very, very nice. Okay, so then when I've got this, I'll trim this right here, trim this. Okay, that, very good. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so I got this 10-inch dimension. I've also got the outside should be 18. Just correctly here to here, and that's 18. Okay, so it's 1'6". Now, I don't want that to say 1'6". I want it to say 18. So how do I do that? Well, over here you see it says 10 inches here and 18 inches. Now, pay attention. This is something that is kind of a little weird, but you can fix it. Now, whenever you have something like this, you might want to override. So you click on it, and then at that point you can do a couple things on here. You can actually go here, and you can right-click on it. And you could go down here to your properties. When you go to your properties, this is how we'll go and fix this. We'll go to properties, and we'll do a couple things. First of all, we're going to go down here and we're going to change the actual, under the primary units here, we're going to change them from dimensional units to make them fractional. When you make them fractional, you see it says 18, and then we're going to give it a suffix, which is right here, dimension suffix. I'm going to type in the inch symbol. This is just a little bit of workaround to get that around, so do that. And it says 18 inches, which is what you want to do. So I went ahead and did that, and we just did a little override there. So down here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to see if I can't make that work. I think I can. I'm going to use my match properties here. Let's see if this will work. If I use my match properties here, go to here, click on this, and click on this. Will it do the same thing? Yeah, it does that. Okay. So once you've got one of them, you just use your match properties. Like here, just touch on that. So that's 12 inches. And then over here, this one down here will be 20 inches. So same thing. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I will do this. I'll go ahead and grab it here and here. Go ahead and grab it here, here, like that. Go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and pull that dimension like this. All right, and then I will use the same thing. I'll use the match properties. Now this one has the particular value that I want. So I'll go here, the formatting rather, and then we do that. And this is how you're able to take these. And if you need to move a dimension, just click on it and drag it down like that. So that's how we do that. So you got 12 inches, you got 20 inches. Yeah, they actually need to move up like that. So we'll go ahead and do that. So click on this and pull this one up. We'll do this for both of them, like this. And we'll go ahead and do this as well. Click on this and pull it up. Okay, so we have that. Like that. So 12 inches and 20 inches, pretty darn cool. Okay, and then we got a few other things. We got a 12'4" dimension, 11'4". So I got a couple dimensions here, which I'll go ahead and place. I think I have my 12'4" dimension already there. Nope, so I'll put that in right now. And 12'4" is going from the outside wall. So try it again. To that. And that's 12'4". And then I want to go from the inside wall, which will be 11'4". Like that. So you put these different dimensions in there. All right, and you begin to place these. Now, there's a couple of notes in here, like I've got up here. I've got this notation right here that says, over here, it says beam pocket 4" by 6.5 inches typical right there, beam pocket. Okay, so I'll do that. Now that's what's called a leader, by the way. When you have an arrow, we talked about this before, but when you have an arrow pointing to something, that's actually called a leader. And so I'll go ahead and put that in there. And we'll go ahead and say, what do we call that one? Beam pocket, right? The beam pocket, yeah. So go here and we'll go ahead and grab this. Now the leader looks like this right here. So the leader, and I didn't draw the beam pocket yet. I will, but for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and draw to it. And I'll go ahead and put a little notation here, there. I'm gonna pull it down like this. And it's gonna overlap these dimensions here, but I can move those later, that's okay. Go ahead and put that here and then here. I'm gonna put in my notation. So I hit my enter key. I'm going to type in BEAM POCKT 4 inches by 6.5 inches. Okay, by 6. Like that, and that's how you go and put your dimensions in. And then your beam pocket, just a little notch, and the size of the notch right here. I'll give you the size right there. I think it's just like a foot, but we'll find out. So it's actually 6.5 inches. Yep, that's what it says. I just wrote down 4.5 by 6.5. All right, so what I do, I'd put that little thing in there, and that's on the beam layer. So I go here, and it's 4.5, 4 by 6.5. So I'll go ahead and draw that by clicking here. Going up 2 because I'm only going half of it, 2, and then I go over nope, I go over first of all 3.25, yeah, 3.25, boom, okay, like that, and back in this direction 4, and 6.5. Out. There's your notched opening there, so you have that, and that, go ahead and take that and place it right to there. So do that, place it there, we're good to go. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and put that notation on there, and the same would be for the other ones. All of those would be the same. There's one more thing I want to point out, and that is up here, the way this wall gets dimensioned. Just want to make sure you do this correctly, because this is something that you got 20 inches going out from, so go here to here, it's 20 inches, this should be. Okay, and again, that says 1'8". Okay, so that's not really what we want. So we'll fix that by taking this first of all, moving this over like this. Now, we already saw that we use our format properties, so match properties, click on this, then click on that, and that gives us 20 inches, which is what we want. Put another dimension, which will go from the here to here. That should be 8. I did that right. And that one's okay. And then the 5-inch one. Yeah, 20 inch, 8 inches, and 5 inches. Which is what you want. It actually would need to go up, but that's okay. Placing those around, I'll let you guys see how you can move those around. I think we're all pretty good here. Looks like I got one dimension here I don't need. I got another one here. Looks like I don't need that one. Over those, and we are looking pretty darn good. Looking pretty good. Okay, I got a little extra thing here. So this is all just trimming out. I do have one more dimension, one more leader up here. Now this leader up here says 4-inch concrete slab reinforces. I got these little arrows here. Now, what is up with those arrows? Okay, so let me go ahead and click on that, and that is what do I got here? So it's the spline leader type. The multi-leader style is smaller. Okay. And I think this right here, is this also smaller? Yeah, okay, they're all that way. So what I gotta do is I gotta just fix this one, which is what I'll do. And so go to here, and that right there is just a little, what is that? Okay, it's just a leader on its own. Okay, so I'm gonna put a couple leaders in here, we'll fix this. Okay, so over to here, pull the little notation here. So I'll go ahead and put in a leader. So first of all, start the leader, and I'll go ahead and put this notation in here, which will be, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and click here like that. Hit our enter key. We'll type in 4-inch conch slab. Okay, 4-inch conch lab. W/6 6. Okay, it should be 6x6. There's a little notation that's wrong. W.W.F, wire reinforcement or something. Okay, and then on 4. Hit the click outside of it. That okay, now that needs to be edited, needs to be formatted, needs to go over to the left. So first of all, leader, I'm going to change the leader over here by going, now again, to do this, you click on this, and to do this, you go to properties. So you go to properties, and I'm going to change, first of all, the leader to be spline. So go to spline, and it does that. It kind of pulls it over like that, and you can kind of like edit that. I think you pull it away a little bit, it does that. Okay, so that does that. Okay, so that's actually cool. Stuck right to it. That's okay. That's fine. And then 4-inch counter slab. Now, one thing, it should be left justified. It's not. So go down here and change justification to left. Left like that. There it is. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in just a plain leader without any note on it. So to do this, I'm going to click here and click like this, pull it over, and just stop it like that. And hit my enter key to finish it. And not put in a note. Okay, so go ahead and just get outside of it. Then I can click on that and do the same thing, just overriding this and make that a spline. It goes ahead and gives me that. So I can go ahead and use that. And then I'm just going to use my arrow keys and nut. That's how you can go ahead and get that. That's just a little kind of a type of thing you can do. And that is everything right there. That's everything you need to do. I don't think you need anything else from me. So that is all I have for this week. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the movie. But before I do that, are there any questions before I let you guys jump into this?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
What if what you show us in class isn't exactly or precisely consistent with the PDF that we're doing the homework off of? I've been following the PDF printout like to a T. And I just noticed little differences while we're in class.
Okay. The difference is, okay, let me see here, because okay, I've got a printout here. The printout that I have right here looks exact, but there may be
well, a better example would have been last week's elevation. I noticed the rounded window up top was on a different color layer than the other windows I did. So when I handed in my homework, I left it on a blue layer rather than the green, like the squared windows.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was just curious how you handle that when grading.
Okay. What if it's that kind of a situation? Yeah, I wouldn't make a big deal about the window if I didn't make it really clear about that. If it's a layer type thing, no. Dimensionally, it should be the same, but layers, as far as they're placed and it's logical, I'm okay with that. So don't worry about that. Get as close as you can. And because for some of these things, as I was drawing it right here, to be fair, I probably should have added a layer to here. I probably should have added a layer here or there. I had, just being honest, but I didn't, and so I have what I have right here. So if it's a layer type thing, don't sweat that. Dimensions, I want them to be on the correct layer. Other items, if it's not real clear, and if I kind of like do something different in class than the PDF, no sweat. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think that settles things.
Okay, good. Well, then that's all I'm going to have for you guys. If there's no other questions, I'll go here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to go ahead and stop